Okay, so they're going for full teams off the bat. You think they're gonna check for buttons?
That's actually a good question. I don't know if they're going to do a button check. They should.
Do a button check, or should we just start hitting each other?
I was about to say, you guys should probably do a button check.
Yeah, just to at least check your connection and stuff.
Okay.
All right, well, we'll see how that one works out.
Yep, I'm excited. I think we're looking at two players who have a game plan that's actually devised for this matchup.
I'm a little worried that Josh has given the game plan to TheYak, and it's just the Morgan flowchart. And not to doubt its efficacy, but that could be a very steep hill for Ben if he has really only, like, if he follows that flowchart, you know, even 50%, 60%, that's going to be very hard to overcome.
While I agree, I think at the level we're dealing with, like, a kill on Morrigan is very, very feasible, at which point it's going to really come down to Doom Virgil. We'll have to see how strong the shell of the team is.
Yeah. The only thing I worry about is that most experienced Morgans throw fireballs in such a way that it's a string. These will likely not be, and they'll be getting unscaled damage on Ben's Nova.
This is entirely possible, but let's find out, because we got game one coming at you right now. Ben definitely holding forward, no surprises there.
See, yep, he's got the crouch A.
Going right
Sister,
into
sister.
sister.
Missiles are called. Wow,
Missiles
just didn't even
never
meaty
come
at all. Okay, well, ooh, that's rough.
That's a little bit of a big drop, but still has to be concerned. Nova, ooh, that's unfortunate.
That's what
a
I
lot
was
of
worried
bar
about.
wasted.
Those unscaled soul fists do so much damage.
Yeah, but a big foot dive here in the corner is going to pretty much clean up Morrigan and half of Doom. So
now we're in phase 2 of this fight, which is Doom Ami probably controlling neutral. We'll see if TheYak has a good answer. Well, all right, that's
level
a
3
solid
right away.
confirm.
Yeah, definitely kills. Probably.
It takes away his
it's
follow my
spending-
lead, which is important, but
Yeah, spending too much bar in my opinion, but you know, whatever gets the job done. But Virgil is here to play.
no X just yet. That could be bad for TheYak.
It could be.
Okay, well,
Mid-screen combo
reset to
drops
neutral.
Here, though. So we get more neutral. There's
Ben
the
did
X,
say
there's the
he
swords.
was not feeling very comfortable with his mid-screen Doom loops. So, whoop. So yeah,
even though drop, no harm, no foul, the Gucci belt comes out, and that's pretty much clean on any character. Just the teleport. Is the
this
super
a
going
death?
to be enough? He misses the super.
Is
The
gonna-
block is out, but
Ooh,
no X
chip.
factor to stop the
He
chip.
chipped him. Oh no.
No X factor to stop the chip. Didn't recognize or wasn't ready for that. That's going to go 1-0 for TheYak here.
So that really went character for character, which is typically how these games have been going. But we'll see if after having played each other once, they can start to adapt that.
Yeah, we'll have to see. This is a good punish on a whiff slide. Is he going to go right into sister?
No sisters yet. That's interesting. He's gotten 2 hard knockdowns. Up, speed tackle.
Unfly is well done
Ooh,
there.
he got crossed up.
That was pretty goofy.
That
with
was
the dash
very
there.
interesting.
Doom coming in at the corner, just going in with reckless abandon.
Another hard knockdown. There it is. The first sister of the match. And answered by a foot dive.
Yeah, so as far as the Morrigan here is concerned, living or not, when that sister comes out, the job of establishing space by backdashing or super jumping away and then dashing and then starting the fireball war, it's not really being established. TheYak is just like, okay, I've spent my bar, so therefore I have won neutral. The movement is very good here.
He set up the meaty fireball, but he didn't call missiles, which is the important part of. That's what makes that such a hard defense to deal with, because it removes your vertical moment, like it removes your ability to kind of move in a vertical space. And
That's
that's
true.
kind of the strength of Mordoom.
Yeah.
Now, back to the match at hand, we're down to Dog, which is a strong anchor, and one of Ben's more comfortable characters. And a Doom that... Oop,
Ooh, okay.
no more Doom.
Interesting. No
So-
X to finish the combo. No.
Oh,
Ooh, goes for
very
slow.
closely thwarting that Stinger, their Rapid Slash.
Okay,
But,
so this is... Well, it could have comboed. It would have been hard. It would have been very tricky.
Oh,
Ooh, the
this
dog
could
gets
be
the
death.
swings. Is this dead? No, he drops the combo. The throw, can
The
you
super.
confirm?
Oh, I
Raw
think
super?
Ben
gonna
hasn't
be
found
safe,
his
so they're gonna get
comfort
some time.
in... He hasn't found his comfort in, like, unorthodox confirms yet.
True.
Not like Okami Shuffle could have potentially ended the match off any of those confirms, but I think he just doesn't have the experience to know that that's the option. Meanwhile,
Look, beats out what I think was the startup of Swords.
I have to imagine because he had 3 bars and he wasn't spending any of them, which was an interesting neutral choice. I wonder
Yeah.
if he was saving up for maybe a Dark Angel.
I'm not so sure about that. I think he was concerned with, as long as Ben had bar, he was willing to throw out the super.
Which is interesting because he did see that he beat Okami Shuffle with Swords just earlier in that match. So it's kind of surprising he didn't go to it again.
Even still, it's one of those things where if you're not 100% aware of how long you can move through that with Swords, you're like... It's very, very
Yeah.
scary. You know?
Yeah.
It's definitely scary to go for, especially as a new player who doesn't actually understand it. But we're back in game 3, tied up, 1 apiece.
So this is something I did notice with Yak, is that he sometimes gets caught in his unfly. Like, it either isn't coming out or he isn't inputting it correctly. And sometimes he will just get caught in a fly, and it leaves him very vulnerable.
It does.
Although in this case,
there are times
Ben ate
here,
a
though, you'll
lot of
see
Soul
similar
Fist.
to what he did there. I've seen a lot of, even if he misses his, ooh, good throw. Even if Yak misses his unfly, he'll just fly up back and put a fireball out at the downward angle to protect his landing.
And I think that did save him because it did kind of stop Ben's Nova, and it forced him to
That's
eat a
going
lot
to
of
hit
Soul
here.
Fist just trying to go
DHC
in.
is very smart. This should kill Morgan.
Is he
and
going
now-
to keep Amy out? Yep. Amy with Beam is actually a very good character on approach. I wonder if he's going to get the full combo knockdown paper?
Knockdown pretty
Oh.
good. Switches to beads. Okay, switches
And then switches
right back.
immediately back.
Catches him low.
Oh,
The name of the game here might be... Oh my god, he went for the raw S. What a challenge by Yak there. A little too slow on his jump normals, though.
he has 2 bars for the first time.
Opts for a regular setup, though, and maybe going for it after a little bit of time here.
He
Letting
has
the assist
more
do some
life.
work in lockdown.
He has more life on Doom than he has in previous matches.
Ooh,
He could be trying to test out the waters of neutral right now,
could be.
but
But
it
we got
is still-
Virgil.
Yeah.
Virgil just ended neutral with the spend of a bar right there.
Oh,
Big rapid slash. That's going to make it dangerous for Amy to try to come into the match.
is this going to be? Oh, he's in the. Oh,
Ooh,
that's
what
a
a
dead
confirm.
dog.
Is that a super? The
Oh.
super dropped. But a little cute little frame trap. Going to take
Yeah.
care of it. It's going to
2
put it
crouching
2-1
lights.
to Yak.
I haven't seen Yak successfully do super after high time.
That's true.
Yet.
I haven't seen it either. A lot of times he's been going straight to swords just to eliminate the problems in neutral.
I wonder if he knows that he has to cancel out of the H teleport from it. I assume Josh would have told him, but it's strange that it hasn't happened yet.
Yeah,
Because it could have ended games.
for sure.
So I'm wondering if that's like a discrepancy in his practice. Oh, there we saw Morgan low profile Doom Beam, which is one of the more painful parts of playing against a Morgan team.
Yeah, it's one of the more criminal things when having to deal with this point character. Knockdown and sister. Let's see. Space established only for a short bit.
Again, no
Nova
missiles.
slides underneath.
I mean, it doesn't seem to be hurting him now, but still no missiles is... Yeah, it's pretty apparent when you look at the game plan of this team, right? If there's no missiles, especially on a character like Nova,
Yeah.
like, with a little bit more experience, Ben's gonna learn to get around some of those fireballs, and it's gonna be rough.
Ooh, the
Ooh,
cross up. Maybe unintentional, but
well, definitely
worked
unintentional
out.
because you see him try and convert those mid-screen, and it's
true.
still a little bit of a struggle for him.
Yeah, I think assist usage has been very, very scarce so far
Yeah.
for the beginners, which is not that surprising, right? Like, there's so many moving parts that they're trying to focus on without the assist calls.
It might be in training, like against someone playing this team, that he's just called an assist and they got eaten up by fireballs. Like, that is one of those very common situations that happens in a Mordoom
That's
match.
true. Ben
So
is
it might
definitely
be.
holding forward, though. He's got to make the Ami comeback if he wants to keep this set alive.
Finally, we see the projectile counter, which is a good
Okay,
option.
so while I agree that the projectile... okay, the change of pace happened.
That was very strange
It was
for
a
a Marvel
very,
match.
very long stare down. This looks like it's going to kill. Yep, dead
Very
Morgan.
close to not being a kill. That was worrying,
Ooh, that
honestly.
was 3 highs.
That was
That
a
was beautiful.
very
X,
sick. Oh,
big X. This could be very real.
the dog is just a little too fast for Ben in X Factor. Oh, but he picks up
But
another hit.
Drop. Another
That's-
drop. This makes
It's
it
back
very,
to Anchor
very
versus
possible.
Anchor.
Yet again.
Oh, he just thwarted. Oh my God.
Are
This
we going
could
to
be
see
a
a
level
super
3.
to end this? No, he's going too slow.
Yeah.
He's doing too many buttons. Okay. All right. Let's see. Swords probably
he can
nullifies a
act
lot of
after
that.
this.
That's a punish. And Yak's gonna clean it up with a finally catching him as Ben was dashing around, looking for an opening.
Ooh.
So there was a lot of good stuff to be said on both sides. Just the consistency of how often the good stuff was happening needs to increase as both players are going to look to their next matchups.
And you do see the strength in team composition there, right? Like, Yak's team is forward heavy and then back heavy. Meanwhile, Ben's team actually has a lot of strength in the middle. Even with Nova gone, Doom Ami is a really strong contender for like one of the better shells in this tournament. Meanwhile, Doom Virgil could struggle in neutral a little bit more, but with all 3 of their characters or only Virgil left, it is a very, very strong front to put up. And you can kind of see that in stages of fight where they would each come down one character and the kind of the makeup, the mood, the atmosphere of the fight really changes because of how the approaches have to change with the shells.
Yeah, without a doubt. I think the biggest note for both sides here is Ben's assist usage was very good when he was able to get it, but his movement and inability to like go through Morgan fireballs was very, very detrimental in the matchup.
Yeah.
And for Yak, his assist usage was, as you mentioned, pretty much non-existent. If he adds that to his repertoire, he'll have to deal with a lot less problems on defense.
100%. I also think his meter usage could have been better. He has 3 characters that can essentially stall neutral or even overtake neutral with 1 meter spent, right?
Mm-hmm.
Morgan, Sister, Doom, the finger lasers, swords. They all can spend a bar and essentially stop neutral, especially if a character is an X Factor. I maybe would have liked to see more swords to deal with X Factor Ami. And, definitely we were talking about seeing more Morgan like install on screen, even with all the meter he had. So I think maybe that's something he could probably take with him in the next couple